Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, hi, my name is Natasha and it's fantastic to have you here. For today's video, we are going to be taking a look at my 10 decks that are, in my opinion, Whimsigoth themed or with the vibe of Whimsigoth. So what is the Whimsigoth aesthetic? It's mostly relatable to the 90s Sabrina the Teenage Witch bedroom or movies that have a witchy vibe to them from the 90s, such as Practical Magic, The Craft, even Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Think celestial bodies like the sun, the moon, the stars, vintage velvet fabrics, a mixture of kind of goth dark vibes with fairy tale motif, so a lot of different fairies or botanical garden like vibes, eclectic vibes, so lots of different metals too. So it's just, if a thrift store came to life, it could kind of be classified as Whimsigoth. But at the same time, there's also elements of religious figures, dark and light duality. It can be kind of embraced with a lot of different elements, but I kind of like to say you know it when you see it. So for this video, as we count down these decks, they're not classified as Whimsigoth. It's just that I feel the art style is very Whimsigoth, and we're going to go from least to very most what I feel Whimsigoth is. And if you have a different suggestion, please let me know down in the comments. This is just out of my personal collection, but let me know if you would add any. All right, number 10, Tarot of the Divine, 50 Ways to Divine Love by Liz Dean, and it's illustrated by Oliver Burston. This includes a beautifully illustrated 25-card tarot deck and 96-page book. This is very much giving what we all think Whimsigoth should be giving, but more on the like Baroque type side of it. So at the time of purchase, this was $18.95 in the US and $14.99 in the UK, published by Kiko Books. So Tarot of the Heart is an oracle of love. Each card is interpreted and designed purely with love in mind, with separate predictions to help you if you are looking for love or if you're in a relationship. Whatever your situation, these exquisite cards will bring insightful messages of love, compassion, and renewal. The 25 cards comprise the tarot's major arcana, along with faith, hope, and charity, the three lost virtues of the tarot sequence, which have inspired lovers throughout history. In the book, you will find upright and reverse meanings for every card, a total of 50 interpretations, including each card's history and how to lay them out for a reading. So I don't really use this too much. This is one that has been on my shelf for special types of readings, but here's the guidebook. And it does have a lot of info, and it breaks down the card meanings pretty well along with those spreads there. Look at all that. But yeah, the imagery here is very much the Baroque / religious-y type side of Whimsigoth. And I guarantee you right now, I'm probably going to say that word 1,000,001 times throughout this video. So if you want to keep a tally, you can keep a tally. But you can see a lot of the elements that we were talking about that it includes in these cards. So it's very much a more, Renaissance type feel, type vibe. But we still have a lot of the different metals. We have a lot of the different kind of celestial motifs. And we have the botanicals. And that like darker element that seeps in as I pull the devil card. So yeah, it gives that, but it's not like my top one. And those are the extra cards. But yeah, this is a good deck if you like to work with only the major arcana, as well as if you want to focus strictly on relationship readings. Up next, we have the Victorian Steampunk Tarot. Unravel the mysteries of the past, present, and future. Includes a full deck of tarot cards and a 64-page illustrated book. Oh, this is also by Liz Dean, illustrated by Bev Spite. This is published by, again, Kiko Books, retailing for, at the time, $18.95 in the US and $12.99 in the UK. Using tarot cards is a time-honored way to see the patterns of the past, explore the potential of the present, and predict what is to come. The Victorian Steampunk Tarot contains an illustrated book and a full deck of 78 cards, each one perfectly encapsulating the steampunk spirit. The cards follow the traditional elements used in classic decks, such as the Rider-Waite, but introduce new imagery that reflects the steampunk aesthetic, including clockwork, hearts, and butterflies, deconstructed burlesque, and brass spyglass. So again, it is strictly the steampunk aesthetic, but it does to me give the vibe of Whimsigoth in a weird way. I just hate split deck packaging. I don't know why. I feel like it has to do with my need to have everything even, and I can never even it out. So before we get into the cards, I do want to show you the guidebook is just fine. There's enough information to get you by. I thought we did have spreads in here. Yes, we do. I love Liz Dean's decks as well as her books. I feel like if you are going to learn tarot, her, Barbara Moore, they're great places to start. So this is a good all-around deck. It is kind of like a pip deck. There are scenes that go on, and there are insects that are the suits. So you can see total steampunk aesthetic. However, there is that Whimsigoth vibe in there. So I feel like it's more of a mixture to me than one aesthetic over another, but I mean, who's counting, who's judging? I'm not. But I do really enjoy this deck. I like to take it out for certain kind of questions or whenever I feel called to use it because it is a good read. And I like the whimsy of it. It's not stuffy. It's very much a deck that you can use your imagination and intuition with and kind of like let loose in the imagery. And let me just show you the, where is it? The moon here. Oh, the star. Very fun. And then the moon and then the sun. Very fun cards. Very interesting setup here. So you can see it's kind of a pip deck, but it does have some stuff going on in it to where you can kind of understand what's going on with the card meanings. So it might be a harder read for beginners, but each suit has their own bugs. So we have the moths for the wands. We have the dragonfly. I think that was for the cups. And then bees for the swords. And then we have the beetles for the pentacles. So again, this is why it's at the bottom of the countdown here, is because it's technically not the aesthetic, it is steampunk. Next up, we have the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrin Wells Stein. This is published by US Game Systems. I do not recall the price tag, but it was in the 20s. Popular inspirational artist Katrin Wells Stein has created a magical tarot deck in her signature collage style with lush images drawn from her intuition and imagination. This unique 83-card deck with a distinctly feminine point of view includes 5 bonus cards, extra female versions of the 4 Kings, and the Emperor. Readers can customize the deck by choosing which cards to include in their readings. So 96-page guidebook with reverse meanings. I really do like this deck. I feel like it is fun. It is very whimsical, but it does have a slight edge to it as well. So it does fit in real nice with the Whimsigoth vibe. There is a spread in the back, reading with the Tarot of Mystical Moments with the 4 cards. And the guidebook is really good if you want a straightforward type of reading. It does give you those reverse meanings, but look at how fun these are. So there's just like a weird, I wouldn't say weird, there's just a vibe that there's just a little bit lurking in the background, which to me is very much giving the goth part of Whimsigoth. There's a little bit of a darkness there that I like. So those are the 2 emperors. And you can see it's just very intriguing and different and fun. And it doesn't make sense, some of the images, but it does give you those intuitive hits that you're looking for. I really enjoy using this deck, and it kind of allows your intuition to kind of go out there and gives you a different perspective. So it was a very fun, very interesting way of reading. Like, we do have a lot of those elements that we talked about in this aesthetic. It's just so pretty. And all of the suits are just so fun to explore. It feels like you're kind of going through a fantasy story or a really crazy dream. So it's really fun. If you have mystical moments, I would love to know what your thoughts are, because it's been around for quite some time and I know it's pretty popular. So yay! Very similar to the last deck is the Dreamkeepers Tarot by Liz Houston. So this is published by US Game Systems. Again, I'm not sure the price, but inspired by traditional Rider-Waite, the Dreamkeepers deck plumbs the spiritual depths of tarot to help readers come to terms with the mysterious forces that influence our lives. The intriguing imagery of the Dreamkeepers Tarot represents years of Liz Houston's journey of personal growth and healing, and includes new tarot art created especially for this US Game Systems edition. She presents tarot as a mirror that reflects our deep inner truths and reveals our hidden motivations, beliefs, and expectations. Her art creates an alchemical blend of multiple paint media and digital photographic montage, offering signs and symbols to help the reader interpret tarot in all its wisdom. So it includes the cards and a 180-page illustrated guidebook. So this one is similar to the last one because of the art style, but to me it embodies the aesthetic a little bit more. This is a very intricate book, so if you are wanting to dive a little bit deeper with the art as well as what each card kind of means in different ways. So there's a divinatory message, there's the art, there's the traditional part of it, and then we have keywords and reversed. I thought that there was spreads in this, but I could be wrong. Oh, yes, we do have them. Okay, so we do have a card today, this or that. We have choosing between two paths, path of the heart, simplified relationship, or mirrored relationship. And so, yeah, it goes in pretty nicely with information. So I do think if you're a beginner, this would be a good deck. Here's the back. I don't believe I've been showing you the back of these cards or shuffling, but you know what? We're vibing. So this to me encompasses a lot of the vibes that we've talked about. Very dreamlike, as the title suggests, but it does have a lot of those colors of deep, rich emerald and sapphires, gemstone colors, those deep colors, as well as it gives that overtone of that goth. I just really enjoy this deck a lot. It's not one I pull all the time for daily reads or anything like that. It's one that I use for deeper questions. Personal deck. But it does have a lot more of the gothic side of the Whimsigoth. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, that right there. But yes, this deck, oh, so pretty. And it just feels like a deep deck. Like you can just really kind of sink your teeth into it, see a lot of different intuitive hits that come through each time you use it. It feels like it's a deck that kind of connects to your soul, if that makes sense. So I'd love to know if this is one of the ones you have. It's not one that I bring up a lot for like pick a card readings, but it is a really useful deck. All right, this is the Crystal Visions Tarot by Jennifer Galasso. Again, US Game System published. This, I think, also retailed for 20-something. But fantasy artist Jennifer Galasso renders traditional tarot symbolism in a unique style with ethereal fairy imagery and a vibrant color scheme inspired by the 4 seasons and the 4 elements. The Crystal Visions deck includes an unknown card for gazing into the future or exploring issues with deeper insight. So there's a tuck box. This one was kind of one that I didn't expect to throw in, but at the same time, I knew I needed to throw in. Like, it's kind of an outlier, but to me, it feels very much the aesthetic. So we do have the little white deck here. That's just enough information to get you by. And we have the Celtic cross spread in the back, and I think that was it, yeah. So very, very basic little deck guidebook there, but look at the back. Very whimsy. And this is full of just fantasy. This reminds me of like 70s fantasy books. So the costumes and the characters here are giving that vibe to me. We have the fairy kind of core, the fantasy core element, and the whimsy vibes. I love the colors of this deck too. We've got the botanicals, a little bit of the metals and the religious kind of vibes. This is giving me like Stevie Nicks, which I believe that was the inspiration for the title here, was her Crystal Visions lyric. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But this is the unknown card. And then we have dragons for the suit of wands, cups, lotus flowers, swords. It's more of a wintry iced feel. And then the pentacles is your fairy garden. So yes, number 6. All right, number 5, we've got a spooky one. This is the Jackolantern Tarot. I really do enjoy this one for its specific spook factor. The vibes are just darker than the other ones that we have gone through before. This one came out around fall a few years ago. This is published by Lo Scarabeo, and it has different languages in here, so you get very minimal meanings here, but it's not unusable. But yeah, it's a definite different take on the tarot or Whimsigoth. On All Hallows Eve, the boundary between the known and unknown, living and dead, body and spirit falls away, and by the light of the jack-o'-lantern, we are called to burst through and enter into a new realm where anything and everything is possible. Are you afraid to dance in the dark? Or is this but a journey into your shadow self, your subconscious, the things we forget by the light of day, when all is bright and sunny and warm? It's only through darkness that light can shine. It's only in mystery that the most unthinkable can be found. So we have this fun little jack-o'-lantern spread here, which is continued over here. Here's the back. So I don't know why this screams Whimsigoth so much to me. Maybe it's the colors, maybe it's the costuming, maybe it's the dark kind of vibes it gives, but I don't know why it's up so high. I told you we are going by my vibes. But yes, this one just screamed it to me in a more darker, spookier way, and I really dig it. It's giving more of the like Renaissance vibe, a little less Baroque, but more of that like peasant king situation, like very spooky. But the colors, they're there for me. The symbols are there for me. The botanicals, I don't know why. I could be definitely off my rocker here, but to me, it's definitely doing it for me for that. So this was a odd one. I like using it for the Halloween season because of its kind of scary spook factor. It's just unsettling, and I dig it. So I would love to know if this is one that you have in your collection, because yeah, it's definitely an odd one out for me. All right, the Jack-o'-lantern Tarot. Next up, we have the Mystic Dreamer Tarot. This is by Heidi Darris, and the guidebook is by Barbara Moore. Again, I really do like Barbara Moore. This is a deck that is published by Llewellyn. This, at the time of purchase, was $29.99 in the US. And at first, I did not really connect with it that much. I think it was just the art type. It was not necessarily my cup of tea, but it does give that vibe. So, moonlit mist sweeps over a dark wood. Sultry flames cast an orange glow upon a hazy sky. Now is the time to enter a luminous world of boundless imagination and unbridled intuition. Sumptuously rich and vivid, the dreamscapes created in this evocative tarot deck will transport you into spiritual realms where personal introspection can flourish. Featuring breathtaking artwork by digital artist Heidi Darras, along with an inspiring companion guide by acclaimed tarot author Barbara Moore, the Mystic Dreamer Tarot offers a variety of ways for you to delve into your dreams. So it's a 78 card deck with a 240-page companion book with over 24 spreads. So the reason why I didn't really connect with this at first was the art. To me, it was too small. So as you can see, the borders take up a good portion of it with the title, and the art just felt shrunk to me. But this guidebook, look at this. There's so many spreads in this first little bit. It's worth it for that in some cases. But we do have a pretty decent meanings and definitions. And then I do like this part here where it says use your intuition. So what does the white flower to the left what is the white flower to the left, and what does it signify? What happens when one of the cups is emptied of all that liquid? This scene is set at night. How would the card's meaning change if it were daytime? So it gives you things to think about. But again, we're talking about the art. So the art to me gives off very much the Whimsigoth vibes. However, I just didn't connect with how it was done. I still like to use it every once in a while, but yeah, it's not my favorite. It feels off in a way. But I think a lot of that has to do with, too, the fact that it's so shrunken down. So I would wonder how it would look stretched out or bigger. There's the back of the deck. I think we did this unboxing on a live, so I'll have to do a revisiting series where all of the ones that we unboxed on live, I'll redo in a video format and give you an updated thought of what I feel about the deck, so on and so forth. But yeah, the vibes to me are here with that. It gives that ethereal, dreamer, whimsy vibe for sure. It still has the fairy element. But yeah, it's fun. I just wish the imagery was bigger. Like, I could deal with the borders being around like this if it were a bigger card even. So it was one that I wanted to really connect to, but it's one that I don't feel called to use all the time. All right, Chrysalis Tarot. This is by Tony Brooks, the guidebook, and the paintings are by Holly Sierra. This is another US Game Systems deck. A delightful troupe of medieval passengers join mythological and other world characters to whisk you away on a spiritual adventure. With exquisite artwork, Chrysalis Tarot opens up your psyche and illuminates your path toward personal destiny. So this one has a bunch of different characters in it, and the suits are renamed. And it's going to take me a second to remember what the suits' names are. But to me, this is a gentler deck. I mean, come on, that's very Whimsigoth. For Merlin to be the fool there. It is a different take. It feels gentler. It feels more imaginative. It feels a little bit more fun and carefree of a deck. And I do want to show you what. So stones would be the pentacles, And each character and card, they do break down what the traditional title is if it's renamed, and the attribute, and the same with the suit cards. If there's a, the court card would be, anyway, if the court cards, they'll break it down even further. So then we have the suit of mirrors, which is cups, and then the spirals are wands, and the scrolls are swords. And so it does break it down enough to where you understand what they are. Court cards are all going to be in the back. They're called the troop, and they break down the attributes, the role, and the traditional name of what it would be. So there's enough information to get you by. I do like the borders in this. It's not as chaotic or too big, but it does give that Sabrina the Teenage Witch vibe. 90s Sabrina. It's very vibrant, very gentle, very fun. Lots of different people, gods, goddesses, characters, that sort of thing in here. It's just really cool to see. The suit of mirrors was very interesting too, with all of the different mirrors being used instead of cups. It's just a different take on tarot. So it might be a little harder for beginners, but this one, the imagery is just so beautiful. All right, my number 2, but it's one of my favorite tarot decks that I own. This is the Everyday Witch deck by Deborah Blake with art by Elizabeth Alba. At the time of purchase, it was $29.99 in the US, published by Llewellyn. Favorable fortunes for curious witches. A fun, practical, easy-to-use tarot kit for every witch. Charming images pair with simple explanations to make this the go-to deck for anyone seeking to learn or practice the tarot. Based on the classic Rider-Waite deck, but updated for the busy modern witch, this tarot has a whimsical air while still being dedicated to the serious job of providing answers to life's tough questions. Author Deborah Blake brings her friendly, approachable style to a tarot experience that's focused on the positive. Includes a deck with brilliant art and full color guidebook. So the deck with 264-page full color guidebook. So as you can see, very much Whimsigoth coded. We've got a nice guidebook here, and these deck cards have been lovingly used. So before we get to that, I'll show you the guidebook. It has a lot of info before you start using the tarot. So we also have some spells in here as well. And then there's enough information to help you understand while giving your intuition room to explore. And each card, at least in the major, has a little quote here. So for the Empress, it's the divine feminine is in all of us. Oh yeah, we have it throughout the whole book. It's been a minute. Come on, show me what you got. So it does help you understand the energy of the card really well. This was one of the decks that got me back into tarot reading after not doing it for years. So I will always be thankful to this deck. It is just stunningly done, and I love it. We do have a couple spreads in the back as well. But yes, this deck is one of my favorites. It is so loved, and it's just such a positive, but like it still has those shadow aspects to it. But to me, it is very easy to read with, and the art is just beautiful. Trying to find some of the Whimsigoth vibes here. The back itself is giving. But yeah, it is definitely whimsy. The quote unquote scary or bad cards, whatever you want to call them, they aren't intimidating in this deck at all. So if you are a beginner, I highly recommend this because it kind of gets you out of that freeze response when you see the devil or the tower come up, or death. It's more of the inquisitive mind part of it instead of like the, oh no, it's so scary. It's more of, it lets your intuition take over and be like, it's not a bad card. It's just what is about to happen, what you're going through. Same with the Three of Swords. You know, it's very much a deck that I recommend to anybody who who feels the vibe of this. So I love it. It again is one of my favorites. I will cherish this deck forever. And the number one Whimsigoth deck of all that I own is The Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed, 78 card and guidebook. This is published by Hay House, our first Hay House deck of the video here. At the time of purchase, it was $24.99 in the US and $33.99 in Canada. The classical tarot gives a modern twist in this gorgeous deck rooted in positive psychology and personal transformation. The suits are all the 4 elements, and the 78 cards are read as archetypal aspects of the human experience that we may encounter in ourselves or in the world. Unlike most decks, the cards' messages are not forecasts or warnings, but positive affirmations in the now, so you can integrate their energy immediately and personally. Traditional tarot enthusiasts can also use this deck for their favorite spreads. The Good Tarot is especially helpful when you feel lost or concerned about choices you've made or seek greater understanding of your circumstances. It's about recognizing the many forms of truth and seeing the light that accompanies the shadow so you can help the light increase its brilliance. So yeah, this is definitely one of those decks that focuses on more affirmative messages. But it is wonderful to use if you need more of that in your life. This is the back of the deck. It is beautiful. And again, it is less meanings, more affirmative, more affirmations. So we do have enough to kind of help you through it. But this is a great deck if you are going through things, if you are needing healing, a little bit more guidance. But it is definitely a deck that I say if you feel called to it and feel drawn to it to have in your collection, because it is, sometimes you just need one of those decks that isn't going to call you out, that isn't going to make you feel a certain type of way, make you feel in a negative state of mind or feel guilty or anything, ashamed. Because sometimes tarot can feel that way when you're going through something, right? You kind of see the negative over the positive. With this one, it's called the Good Tarot for a reason. You're putting the positive energy out there. And it is just beautifully done. So the Fool there. And I love that the suits are the elements. And the Messenger is the Knight, so I really like that. Was interesting play. But you can see how all of the other decks that we looked at are encompassing the art in here as well. So it's just a really beautiful, gentle, loving deck. So I know when I was going through hard issues or things that were needing a little bit of a gentler approach, this was a really good deck to have on hand. For instance, let's read you the Devil, which is temptation or attachment. The material world is my playground, but I need to be careful not to be attached to outcomes. This is a warning to me to watch for excess and to know what's not healthy for me. When this card shows up, it's a sign that I am focused on the material realm and I need to be aware of any excess or addictive behavior, my own or that of others. So do you see how it switches it from like a quote unquote meaning to more affirmations and more in the now, in the present? So how you can look at the situation that you're going through, and if the Devil comes up, it's not an automatic like, what's going to happen? What's wrong with me? I feel so ashamed that I'm going through XYZ or I'm dealing with XYZ. It's more of a like, okay, this is a warning. This is what's going to be the trajectory if we keep going. We need to worry about the attachments and see them for what they are. So I really do appreciate that type of an outlook for it, especially because we don't want to berate ourselves or go even further into the self-deprecation. But yes, the art style, this is the epitome of what Whimsigoth to me feels like and is. And I really do love this aesthetic. It's something that is in the decor of my home. It's in my outfits. It's something that brings nostalgia, but it also is an entire vibe. And it's just a wonderful feeling when I see it, and I appreciate it because, again, nostalgia for me, I just really love everything that it brings for the feelings, the memories, the vibes, the energy. So that is one of the reasons why I wanted to do a Whimsigoth themed collection for you guys today. Let me know if you want to see more decks in a collection like this for vibes or aesthetics, because I have quite the collection now and I could curate a lot of that for you. Please let me know if you own any of these decks, what your thoughts are on them, if you would add any that I do not have, or if you would take any away. My order is probably not the best order. I went on my vibes. But yeah, please let me know if you enjoyed this type of video. I would love to know what your next aesthetic or next kind of theme you would like to see would be. And thank you for being here. I love you and I like you. If you've made it this far in the video, drop a sun or a moon emoji to let me know you have. And if you have not done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on your way out of this video. That way you will never miss an upload from me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.